The shocking, tragic death of Laura Palmer brings the town of Twin Peaks to a stop, as everybody that knew her is horrified to see that the homecoming queen, a supposedly sweet and innocent 17-year-old girl that everybody loves, has been murdered. And while we think that she is this innocent young lady, there's a lot more beneath the surface, and there's actually a lot of darkness and chaos that kind of surrounds not only Laura Palmer, but the night that she was murdered. Without saying anything else, I might get into mild spoilers here and there. So yeah, I just watched the original series and Fire Walk with Me, and while I've all sorts of I'm absolutely obsessed with the lore and the appeal and personality of this show. I feel like I have more questions about it than when I started. The way that the original series ended, and then the way that Fire Walk with Me is basically essentially Fire Walk with Me is based on it's mainly Laura Palmer and her father and the story, like getting a lot of who she was, and it's great because we didn't really get to know her at all. She's killed, and everybody talks about her for at least the entire first season, and you know when the mystery of who murdered her is the biggest part. The whodunit aspect of the show is such a driving force that we know so much about her through the other characters that it's lovely to spend time with her. But and before I get into anything else, I want to give my genuine opinion on this and give like fair criticisms, just as somebody who's just now getting into David Lynch way later in my life as a movie lover. And I will first off say I love the series, I love the movie, and I love David Lynch. I love both, but I'm so ecstatic that Twin Peaks: The Return exists, because if it didn't, I don't know, I'd be, I actually am also going to watch the, I believe it's called The Missing Pieces movie that was released, which is basically extended and deleted scenes from Fire Walk with Me. So I'm happy that there's more to watch. I think I'm going to watch, maybe not tonight because it's already 3 a.m., but I am going to watch, because in the order of which they came is when they came out is how I like to watch things usually. So it's like original series, the movie, then the missing pieces, extra deleted and extended scenes, as well as the return. So anyway, Dale Cooper, what a fantastic protagonist and an admirable person to kind of drive the story. I love how they wrote his character, and basically Dale Cooper, yes, as we know, he's basically the guy in the FBI that comes to Twin Peaks. And it is a small town, by the way. Just as I read online that the town is actually supposed to be like only 5,000 people, and it is technically 5,000 people, but the sign is a typo, or like somebody accidentally, they just made a mistake with that. And the reason that exists, this is just a fascinating little piece of trivia here. The reason that exists is because the executives didn't think that people that live in more urban places and busy cities would be able to relate to small town kind of story. Like that's, very small population, that they literally made it 50,000 and added an extra zero just because they wanted people to feel like, oh, well, it's not that small of a place, right? So that was just a very funny thing, because apparently in the book that is attached to Twin Peaks, or some sort of behind the scenes book or something, they say that that's actually the population. So yeah, Dale Cooper, somebody from the FBI who's got some sort of otherworldly abilities and can kind of use his dreams and his love of coffee and donuts, I suppose, to find answers and figure out how to solve these mysterious cases. When he gets into town, let's state the obvious here. If you have seen the show, you know what I mean. The first season and the second season are like night and day in terms of quality. Now, I went into this like half blind, half knowing a lot of like what the behind the scenes was like for this show. Only some of the stuff I only found out literally just before I watched Fire Walk with Me just now, and some other stuff I found out before I even started the series. So I found out. Yeah, I always heard that David Lynch is heavily involved in the first season, and he directs pretty much like every episode, or most of the episodes at least, and is heavily involved with the writing. And the first season, I believe, is only the first 8 episodes. And it's like the best TV you'll ever watch in your life. Season 1, episodes 1 through 8 is like absolutely some of the best TV I've ever watched. Up until a certain point where, a big moment happens essentially. And then right as season 2 starts, boy, you can feel the difference in not quality from a television standpoint, but the writing itself. You can really feel how different this show is a prime example of why changing showrunners can significantly impact the quality of something. David Lynch was the showrunner basically for the first season, and then once he's not as he's here and there as as one of the side characters. I already forget his name. I have so many characters I have to mention, obviously. So the character with the earbuds, and he's kind of hard of hearing, and he needs these like earbuds and this device to hear people. But yeah, David Lynch is in the show as an actor here and there, but is really not a part of the writing, and doesn't come back until he directs the final episode. So what I got from the reason I watched is a friend recommended it to me, or multiple people recommended it to me after I heard about it, and what I heard from a friend of mine was that the first season's great, and then the second season is just like, all right, you can kind of just like passively watch it and let it kind of go. Now, I think that the first half of season 2 versus the second half of season 2 are completely like different things. I honestly think the entire second half of season 2, like there was a certain point where I was like, all right, now the show feels like exciting again, even if David Lynch isn't involved in it, they still picked up the pace at some point. At first, it's like a huge difference. All I'll say is, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, as soon as that old man with the glass of milk comes in, like doing nothing, I was like, okay, this show is very, or not doing nothing, but basically just being strange and not helping for the drastic situation that happens. I'm trying to avoid giving that away, but yeah, all I'll say is the old man with the milk coming into the hotel room was like just like, what the fuck is happening? Like I was so confused. I do love a lot of moments throughout season 2, though. I love David Duchovny's character as oh man, I forgot the fucking names, because I watched all of it so quickly. I'm already forgetting, like Dennis and Denise, right? Yes, Dennis and Denise. That character is lovely, and Dale Cooper is so great. What blew my mind about Fire Walk with Me is that it's a full-on prequel, and I didn't know that until I was reading about it online. It's a full-on prequel, and it's all just focused on Laura Palmer. Dale Cooper's like my favorite part of the show, and he's barely in the movie. So, all right, let me get into talking about some of the characters, I guess. What I love, this show is very similar to Lost. There's so many parallels where, as far as like the both shows have such a, like, the plot is so imperative in the beginning, and then at some point it focuses so much on the characters and the plot becomes secondary. Now, the difference between these two shows is Lost definitely like wraps up a lot. Like, people say that, I'm not going to not derail talking about Lost. Lost, I feel like did just come through with a lot of answers, as well as leave a lot of things in ambiguity. Twin Peaks feels like there is a lot that is hanging. There's a lot that I feel like right now, if that's all I had, and of course, like, nothing else came out until The Missing Pieces and the Return. So I'm thinking, like, damn, that's all that exists of Twin Peaks. That's why I want to do this review right now before I watch those, because I think that this is like a lovely, all right, like, that's all that aired around that 3-year period from 91 to 92 or 90 to 92 or whatever it was. So, I'd be like, not pissed, but I'd be like, damn, like, I have so many things that I'm like, I still have questions about. The very end, or a big significant moment happens with Dale Cooper right in the very last episode, right before the credits roll, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's a big fucking cliffhanger, a huge moment of like, and it kind of works in a way, because it's got this like, almost like the way classic horror movies end, or something that's kind of like bleak and just like, oh god, like, just like horrible, and then it just ends, and it's just like, wait, what? Like, it's this scary, like, oh yeah, like, evil, continues kind of thing is what it made me feel in the end. And so I was really thinking, I, again, went into this kind of half blind, especially with Fire Walk With Me. I went into it kind of blind thinking, all right, like there, you know, it's gonna be like Deadwood or like any other thing where it ends the story with a movie where it's like they answer a lot of things or try to wrap a lot of things up or whatever. That was just the first example that came to mind. There are plenty of things that plenty of shows that use like a you know, there's what is it like Firefly and Serenity or whatever the hell or not Serenity. I might be thinking of something else. I don't know. There's like different things that have done, you know, in that where as far as like it's the movie finishing a TV series in that way. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot of closure. I thought it was like, okay, like I'm like finished the series earlier today, went to work, came back thinking like, all right, I'm gonna get some answers, I'm gonna get like some conclusion here, and then there was like only more. Like the movie Firewalk with Me is amazing as far as all of the time you get to spend with Laura and see how bad she actually was. She was a very you know, living on the edge and getting involved with some really, really bad people and really behaving just not, you know, like very depraved. She was significantly more depraved than the show, because the show was aired on CBS, so it was very like clean by a lot of what we are used to seeing with compared to Game of Thrones or something like that. So it's so tame, you know, it is kind of tame in a way as far as like what was allowed on TV at the time on that kind of network. I don't know if this was TVMA or TV14, but probably TVMA, because the show itself is very dark and there are some like kind of like more adult moments, but the movie straight up like, you know, there's nudity, there's a lot more it's way darker. I loved that about it. I really loved like how much they explored like I do love both the series and the movie. I'm just like I'm like so grateful that there's more to watch, because I'd be so pissed if I mean, and I'm thinking like there are people that had to wait 20 years or whatever it was to watch even the missing pieces, and then the return having their 25 years. That blew my mind, by the way. There's a moment where, yes, if you've watched this much of the review, you know, I guess I can get more into spoilers, or when they say at the end, you know, I'll see you in 25 years, that was like, oh my God. And then that's where the fuck, I was just like, holy shit, they actually followed up on that. That must have been so hyped, and that must have been very like people like wondering if he was going to come back with that. And then it was when it was confirmed, people must have been so hyped for that when the return aired in 2017, like unbelievably hyped. I would have been like, holy shit. So I'm excited about getting closure. I obviously assume there has to be some closure with that, right? But okay, before I, you know, let me glaze a little bit more about the show actually before I criticize it. I love, you know, and this is a double-edged sword because this is actually going to go right hand in hand with my criticisms. I love the ensemble group of characters. I love all of the characters. I think that's very hard to do, especially in something like television when you have so many moving parts and different storylines and all these different things with different characters. There's a lot to keep track of. It's very hard to do something with like it feels like there's like 15 to 20 central characters in this, and it shows, you know, you really feel like you're a part of the town of Twin Peaks because you feel like you know everybody. You feel like, oh, like especially as far as like all the people in those inner circles, there's all these love triangles and all these things happening, and it's so exciting for that reason. However, the main criticism I would say about Firewalk with Me is it's such a tease that it's so focused on Laura Palmer that they're essentially 60% of the characters, 60 to 70% of the characters, it feels like, are not in the movie at all. And I was like, damn it, where's like Andy, Lucy, Audrey, Ben Horn, all the parents, whoever's parents were still, whoever, you know, all just the older characters, there's so many characters and so many things that were happening that made me love Twin Peaks that are just non-existent because of how much it focuses on only Laura. So, and also the fact that Laura Flynn Boyle is not in the movie as Donna. Granted, they definitely wouldn't have been able to do what they did with the character of Donna if she was in it, because Donna gets into some crazy shit too, which is shocking because she's like kind of the sweet one or the like clean, you know, like kind of one of the cleaner characters out of everyone in the series. Like she's not perfect, but she's like very much like the good girl of the show. That is very shocking what they did, what David Lynch decided to do with her character. And apparently, see, and there's just a lesson here, like for anybody that's trying to be an actor, anybody trying to get into production, do not date co-stars, or don't date your spouses if you're, or don't work with your spouses. I don't know. Some people can do it probably. I'm sure a lot of people can, and it works for a lot of people. Obviously, like look at Rob Mack and Caitlin Olsen and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Some people can do it. However, apparently, like with the fact that Laura Flynn Boyle and Kyle MacLachlan were dating around the time, she tried to like get them to prevent the Coop and Audrey thing that might have happened, and that had potential there or whatever. She not only prevented that, but like the reason she's not in the movie is because she couldn't do it because of scheduling conflicts, but they basically, them dating made them feel like mixed feelings about doing the show at some point. Or like Colin MacLachlan requested that his character be written down in Fire Walk with Me, the movie. So I'm really surprised to hear that is all, or I was surprised to see that, and was just like, God damn it, like it was just like classic, like people that get involved with each other and then they break up and then it's like awkward or whatever. Don't shit where you eat, people. That's all that there's a lesson to be learned from that. But yeah, like I don't know if I don't know, Laura, I still haven't seen this movie, but Laura Flynn Boyle is also in the movie Happiness, so maybe she wouldn't have had a problem doing the crazy shit that Donna does. But yeah, the fact that Donna's a different actress is such a jarring thing. Right at the beginning of the movie, Laura is walking and says like, "Oh, hi, Donna." It's a completely different person. I was just like, wait a minute, what? I was just like, wait, no, this is I was like, I paused the movie and was just like, this is fake, right? Or like not fake, but this isn't a real moment, is it? And then it was like, I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, yeah, no, she's not in the movie, and that's Donna or whatever. In my head, as much as my instinct is like, this is film, this is like screen acting, this is screen story, storytelling on a, in a movie and TV, where it's the literal nature of it is so fucking important. I am so not a fan of how many shows try to do their like a Mortal Kombat 1 versus Annihilation. Like when characters are replaced with completely different actors, I really can't stand that shit. And it's a shame how often it happens, because like actors have like contracts. Essentially, why it happens is contracts are up, and then people are interested in making more money doing something else, that they literally sign a contract for something else and are not able to do it because of the obligations. They like, once you sign anything and once something's on paper, you are committed to it and you have to do it. So yeah, like the fact that Laura Flynn Boyle is not in it, and there's just like a majority of the characters not involved with it, was just such a tease, like the beginning of that with the sign of Twin Peaks and the theme song coming back in. I'm like, all right, we're back. Like enough Kiefer Sutherland and Chris Isaac and David Bowie or whatever the fuck that was in the first 20 minutes. I'm thinking like, all right, let's get back into what I was watching this movie for. And then it's still more of like, you're wanting more of those characters, like Lucy, Andy, all those characters I just mentioned are not in it at all. Like all that main sheriff corps, Harry and all those people are not in the movie at all. And I loved those characters. I love them to death. I love Andy. Andy is one of my favorite characters as far as how like, dopey and innocent he kind of is, and so is Lucy in that way. And then you got like Audrey, who's Audrey is one of my favorite. Her and Billy Zane's character, Jack, I believe his name was. I love their dynamic, and I love Audrey's character. I love Ben Horne. That's the guy that played Tony in West Side Story. I love those actors and those characters so much that to not have them in that, or the fact that it was like this little 10% of the characters in it, it was really rough to see that. It was just kind of like not disappointing, but it was just like, damn, like I wanted more of that. I just got so attached to all of these characters, and they're not in. And again, that's not what that movie is. It's not what the story was. It makes sense why in the intro credits why he put the actors that play Laura Palmer and Leland Palmer. It makes sense why he put them in the beginning to show like, hey, like this is the movie, and then Kyle MacLachlan's literally mentioned last, like it's like and Kyle MacLachlan as like he's not even in the casting, like they save him for last, but he's not in the, he's not in that main section of actors, obviously. So that alone was just that that was the foreshadowing of the fact that he's not in it that much at all. But yeah, that's the double-edged sword of creating these stories that have massive amounts of characters, though. That's the these are the pros and cons of that choice, is because you get so much, you can tell so much story and have so many things going on with an ensemble cast. But the more people you have, the more likely you are to run into those types of issues, or to run into you're going to run into those, and from what I read online, a majority of them do come back for the return, so I'm glad to see that, at least, just from what I glanced at on IMDb or whatever, at least. What else can I say about this? I love the style of it. I love the theatrical. I love David Lynch's, and I know a lot of it is him, a lot of it's not him. Like, a majority of season 2 is just like other people writing, kind of like, doing similar style to his, but they can't do it like him. Like, you just feel, it just feels different. Like, David Lynch had a feeling to his shit, and I'm so grateful to be getting into it, because I feel like this is going to massively influence whatever I make, if I do end up making more movies in general, more, instead of just videos on YouTube. I want to make more actual stories in that way, and I feel like I can, or even if I end up using the influence I feel from him in my music videos and stuff as a musician. Like, I'm really wanting, I'm always like his style, and may he rest in peace. I'm like, fuck, I love this guy so much, and I want more of his shit, and I'm excited to watch everything else that he's made. But yeah, no one can replace him. And it's just, this show is proof of that. The show is proof, the show really does meander in the beginning to the middle of season 2. Like, there's so many moments where I was like, damn, is this the same show that I was super fucking locked into at one point? It's still interesting. Like, even with the criticisms, I was still invested. I was still super into it. I was very much like, there was always something to kind of, that was interesting. There was always something to keep your interest, at least, because who killed Laura Palmer, that's a mystery that goes for a very long time. And then there's another mystery of the room with the red curtains, all this other whatever this is, this other dimension with the room with the places with the red curtains. And it's just his use of lighting and editing and the reverse talking and shit like that, like them shooting and filming it in reverse, so that when they reverse it and it goes in real time, it's just got this weird thing to, I guarantee that was just his idea. Like, all this is really stylish, has personality and charm. All of that is why I was going through the slog of season 2 and feeling that, you're just like, and apparently the ratings really tanked, and it's why it just kind of ends at some point. It feels like it definitely didn't have any specific place. It was classic TV where they were writing as they went, as opposed to having a big picture of where they wanted to end up, So what I love about this show is how familiar I was with the music already, because I've listened to that song "Go" by Moby plenty of times, and he samples that main little pad theme, the whatever that is. He samples that, and so every time I was watching the beginning of this here, I was like, why the fuck does this sound so familiar to me? And I was looking up who has sampled this, and Moby popped up, and I was like, oh my god. And then I listened to it, I was like, holy shit. The music, before I forget to talk about that, the music, oh my god. Only shows like Berserk, or shows that have specific themes and songs that are just completely unforgettable and totally extraordinary. This show is one of those where the music, the theme song, the all the interlude part, any little bit of music in this, that guy, I forgot his fucking name, something with an A. I don't want to say Andre or Andres or Angelo or something. I think it's Angelo something. He is I apologize for not knowing his name. He is amazing, amazing composer. I really love every bit of music that I heard, and no joke, as I'm talking about this show, I'm hearing it in my head right now, and I'm so into how this show is just every element of it is perfect, even the actors in the show that are very much TV actors, and not, the show can get away with just like Lost, the show can get away with a lot of its flaws. For me, all the flaws, I love it anyway. I love the title text having, a brown text with a green border to represent like the trees. Like that is just so creative and unique and cool. It's just cool. Like Twin Peaks, like the lore and the vibe is all that like needs to be said about it. There's nothing else to really just there's nothing else to say other than that. Is like, you know, the vibe that David Lynch and everybody else involved, obviously Mark Frost and everybody else, and he wasn't the only one who, you know, everybody, there's a lot of people involved in this thing, you know, but like obviously David Lynch's impact on it and the creativity of it is just absolutely incredible stuff that you won't forget, that you won't really, you know, nothing compares to it, or there's no way to like. It's just in a league of its own, and it's in its own place from a just general intrigue. You know, for better or worse, like whether you're into David Lynch or not, you can't deny that his stuff is just intriguing, or that he knows how to make things intriguing and have his own. He knew how to create something that had a feel like no other, and that's what this show is. You got like these weird, just like watching the show, the first thing you think is just these people are fucking weird. Everybody's very weird, and that's where the acting, good or bad, or whether people are overacting because it's, you know, 90s television acting, or whether they were like grounded as hell like Kyle MacLachlan and his character is Dale Cooper, like whether they were, however they were, it all worked because the show is so just peculiar as fuck. Like all the characters are like, the IMDb synopsis is perfect. Like an idiosyncratic FBI agent, you know, involves, you know, goes to an even more idiosyncratic town to solve the case of a murder of a young 17-year-old girl, right? So that's a perfect word for it. It's very eccentric and very just like bizarre, and in the coolest way. It's just the you know, I don't want to say it's goofy, but it's got like this. You take the murder of Laura Palmer so seriously. In the beginning of the show, the characters are so affected by it. Her death is so impactful, so meaningful. Like, it is a big fucking deal, and I love that because you rarely see that. Normally, especially with like crime shows where death is like nonchalant, you know, and not treated as like, death in storytelling in general is treated very like, you know, yes, this happened. All right, moving on with the story now, right? So the fact that like she dies in the first, and it's like the whole first season is just like people like crying and so broken up over her death. Really, really amazing to have that as something to jumpstart a story with all these, you know, bizarre characters. It's like because the reason where you're the reason why that adds it's a whole different dimension of tragedy happening is because at first you're thinking all this weirdness and all these people, they're grief stricken. They're all like, they're acting crazy and acting all like, you know, they're not themselves because they're grieving, and they're, you know, they're really torn up over this death of their best friend and their lover or their daughter or whatever. So like whoever she meant to them, like it is a big deal, and you at first assume, you know, that's all that's a big part of it. But then as things go on, and as, you know, at some point, you know, yes, you do find out like how she was murdered and who you slowly unravels and all that stuff. But like even when you find out all these things out, it's like people are still, the town is still fucking weird, and if anything, it gets weirder. It gets weird as shit, and I love it so much. Like I'm gonna be thinking about this show for one, and I'm excited to finish it. Like I'm definitely gonna finish. I'm gonna watch the movie, the extended scenes tomorrow, and delete the missing pieces tomorrow, and I'm gonna start The Return tomorrow as well. And oh fuck yeah, I have a day off, so I can do both. Oh my god, I can watch a shitload of it tomorrow. That's fucking awesome. I'm hyped. So I guess I should cut this review in a second here, because now I gotta go to sleep so I can get up and watch more of it. But a couple. Let me like just point out some other criticisms. I don't know if it was the actress or the character or whatever, but the character Jocelyn, I like every single character except for her for some reason. Her and you know, I mean, I don't like Leo Johnson, but I like him as a good he's a great antagonist. Leo Johnson, that actor was a little bizarre here and there. So like again, some of the actors, like the guy that plays Harry, is such a TV actor for the time. Like he's not, you know, Like there are moments where he's supposed to be very serious and in a dark place, and he's supposed to be like doing a really like have a heavy moment, and it's just kind of like, oof, like that guy is, you know, again, I can't tell if it's the fact that that's like what TV acting was at the time, or if he genuinely is just not a great actor. Maybe he's just not a strong actor that happened to get the role. Like whatever. I will. The one thing that I forgive the most, honestly, of anything in storytelling on screen, especially, is the acting. In theater, it's a little different because acting it's like that's how it is. In theater, the acting is the most important part. And on the screen, it's kind of the least important. Like a good director or writer, or like, I don't know, good producers and good filmmakers can make people that are not actors look good on screen, or they can make them, at least get something halfway decent out of them. Like you can get away with a movie not having a strong actor. You can't really get away with a good actor being in a shitty movie with a shitty script, kind of thing. So that's kind of how I look at that. But anyway, yeah. Some of the actors are good. Some of them, most of the actors I think are great. The Log Lady, like I think everybody's great, but those few characters like are just, the acting's a little weird. I really just for some reason didn't like Jocelyn's character. That haircut wasn't doing her any favors, because I've seen pictures of the actress with longer hair, and it's just, I don't know. It's just like they say that she's this beautiful woman, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, again, more so because of like the way that they made her look. Maybe it was the lighting. I don't know. Just like they like, and just like the way that the character's written. I don't know. I feel bad saying that because it's like she's not ugly, and maybe she's not a bad actress. Like she's like, everything I'm saying is I think just from a like the way that like something like at the time, I think that was just like that short hair was in style at the time, and like there's all this I don't know. Yeah, like that. There are a lot of things where it's like I don't really focus too much on that. I'm just purely being honest with what I mean by all this is just like what I feel while watching it. I couldn't tell if that was just like the vibe of what it was, because again, it is a 30 year old show now. Yeah, it's like a 30-year-old show. So 36 years old. It aired in like 90. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's like a 36-year-old show now. So yeah, that's not a big deal. I do like Jocelyn a lot. Like I don't hate these characters. I still like her. I think if I had to pick like my least favorite characters, it's like Jocelyn and I don't know, maybe some of the random side characters here and there. But I don't know, most of the characters I do like. See, I care about Jocelyn because of how much I care about Harry's character, and she means a lot to him and all that stuff. Like I like the character of Harry, even though the actor is not like crazy strong or whatever, and I don't know. I guess it's like Jocelyn's character. Then there ends up being a lot of sketchy shit about her, and the way, I don't know, the way they wrote her and just her acting or something about that character just really didn't do it for me. I don't know why. That's like, those are the main criticisms I have for the show, though. I don't really like it's I'm nitpicking here, honestly. Like even with those criticisms, I don't give a shit about my own criticisms. I love the show significantly more than what my opinions are of those small things. Like that doesn't matter to me, But the show is so appealing and just so charming and really just nice. Like it's like the kind of show. What I love so much about television just in general is how it can be a nice ritual, especially when you're watching with someone like a spouse or a friend or family member, and you're having a continuous watch with someone with an entire series. Maybe it's like a few 30 or 40 episodes, maybe it's hundreds of episodes, but the lovely part about how much TV there is to watch in general is how you have a ritual, and you have all right, yeah, let's watch more of this, let's watch more of that, and that theme song starts. Just, hey, let's shout out the theme song of the show, and let me point out how I'm really annoyed at how shows don't have theme songs anymore. I don't know what the fuck happened to theme songs. Why don't theme songs exist? Some of them do, kind of, but like The Boys, like recent shows, The Boys doesn't have one. Any like true crime drama that I've seen doesn't really have one. They're treated like movies where it's just like text, and it's just like, not, there's no theme song, and I fucking hate that. Like because I love theme songs. Yeah, I gotta say, I think I guess Lost kind of did that because that was before Breaking Bad. But Lost starting it with just like, just started that trend of like, just one kind of thing and no song. It's not anything. Breaking Bad did their thing, which is the 10, 20, not even 20-second theme song or whatever. people started realizing, okay, like you can keep that very brief and then have more time to tell the story. You know, people want more time to tell the story. But I love theme songs. I love the BoJack Horseman theme song. I love 6 Feet Under's theme song, and Oz and The Wire. The Wire having different versions of it. You know, I think theme songs are very, very important in television. And the one in Twin Peaks, every single time I hear that electric guitar, dun dun dun, and when it goes to the 4 there, like dun dun, it's so lovely. So lovely. I really love that theme song so much. All right, I think I've talked enough about Twin Peaks. Final thoughts, I guess, that I have are, the show is so lovely and infectious with how lovely its characters are that I really missed them a ton in Fire Walk with Me, and I'm excited to hopefully see them again in The Return. I guess we'll see, you know, but I love the show, and the characters they stick with you. Like, the most important thing that a TV show can do is have strong characters, and that's what the show does, is, like, you have to have strong characters, because at the end of the day, like, people are fans of The Walking Dead because of how much they were fans of The Walking Dead somehow, because of how much they love the characters, like Carol, and like the long running ones that are there from the beginning to the very end, like Carol and Daryl, right? You know, so it's like that's how much people are attached to characters and shows and spending that much time with them, that they will forgive such a piece of crap story being told. Like they will look past it. Like your plot, your show, your production, all that shit can be like so mid and so average if your characters are so lovable. Like you have infectious characters. That's why Ted Lasso was a very successful show. Ted Lasso was so good just because all the characters are, you know, people were so, you know, into it at the time. Especially looking back, Ted Lasso, I wouldn't say it's like one of my all-time favorites. I like it though. It's nice. It's a feel-good show. But Ted Lasso's characters are just really well. It's a classic ensemble show, just like this one. So Twin Peaks, the characters, I for some reason just keep thinking about all those people in the sheriff's office and then them drinking coffee and donuts. Everyone at the diner eating pie and drinking coffee. I say eating coffee and donuts. Drinking coffee and eating donuts is what I meant. I love how much food is. I love anytime food is implemented in any story. You know, in any story, as far as like when it's a lot more central than not, or when it's very, like, to me, food is just like so human. And David Lynch is just like showing his love for the donut, and because I've seen him have speech. I've seen a video where he talks about like just how perfect he thinks that the donut is and all that stuff. So I love, because I'm right there with everybody in that. Like I'm a big fan of coffee and donuts, and I don't really drink caffeine. I don't like drink decaf coffee, and I don't really eat donuts that much. So it's like every once in a while when I get myself a donut and maybe like a specific type of coffee or something, that's like one of my favorite things ever. So that, and the show's making me want to eat more pie. Like now I'm like missing, like now I'm like wanting to get pies more often, and I'm forgetting how much I love pie because how much I was watching the characters eat it at the Double R, I think is what the diner was called. Man, as you can see, I binge watched the fuck out of this in the last like month or so, and I am like, I just got like such a high dose of it, and all of it's on my mind. I said I was gonna end this, and I always do this. Yeah, let me end this, and then I keep going for like 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, let me actually end it now. Twin Peaks, wow, so lovely. If you're into David Lynch's stuff and you're wanting to see me talk, if you want to see more reviews about his stuff, I'm gonna be watching the rest of his catalog. I might even rewatch, you know, Eraserhead and The Elephant Man, some of the ones I've already seen. But I'm going to watch all of the ones that I haven't, which are Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, Wild at Heart. And I think that's it. I already did an Inland Empire one. I'm not sure if there's one that I'm forgetting in that, but I'm also going to watch The Art of Life. Like, I'm going to watch all of David, anything that I can find of his. But I think I'm going to finish Twin Peaks first. So I am going to do The Missing Pieces and The Return in the next review when I do more of that. But maybe I'll watch some other movies, and, you know, there'll be other reviews up until then. But thank you so much to anybody that's watching these videos, no matter how big or how small or large the viewership is on this channel. I'm just really enjoying talking about movies and my love of art and storytelling and anything, you know, just anything in general. I might start talking about music on here, because my own music channel, I tried doing reviews or talking about music here and there, and it just didn't feel like the right, I don't know, I want my music channel to just be about my music and music videos and nothing else. So I might start talking about music on this channel as well, or just start talking about just other stuff, just whatever I want on here, because that's what this channel is me just being myself and talking about anything. So thank you so much to anybody watching these. I really appreciate you all. Twin Peaks, I highly recommend it. If you have seen it, you know how great it is, and if you haven't, you should totally check it out. Check out all of it, because it even though I'm feeling like I need more answers and I need more conclusions, I am really loving the. It's just, I love when TV shows stick with me, and this show, it's like I can't get it off my mind. I keep thinking the theme song and all the everything. It's like I'm most likely gonna rewatch it again soon with somebody who hasn't seen it, or if they want to or whatever, because I that's how much I love it, is I can see myself rewatching it and then within the next year, just like I did with Lost. I watched Lost twice in a year. If I love a show enough, I will literally watch it right after I finish it. Just watch it again, because it's the best feeling to just like, I don't know, I just like want more time with the characters again, and find and pay attention to more things and catch little details I might have missed for the first time. Anyway, yep, love y'all. Thank you so much for watching these. I'll catch you in the next one.